bit stronger than I was before.
How strong is Hyper Goku? First off, we gotta cover what continuity this version of Goku can be scaled from. It's simple. Kaaydo himself says that Hyper Goku is a variant of GT Goku that has gone through the movies, GT, and even the 100-year time skip. There's even some statements that might insinuate that Hyper Goku went through some events of the Super Manga. Speaking of which, the Super Goku variant that Hyper Goku battles is an alternate variant of the Manga Goku, with some timeline differences from canon. However, some scaling is fairly consistent, that being the baseline scaling for these characters is being capable of destroying the universe macrocosm. With no real proof for showing that these variants have the same exact feats and statements as canon GT and Super, we have to go by statements and feats in this series, but oh boy, does Hyper have some feats. For the fight between the Gokus, we learn a lot about these characters. For example, the Super variant can improve UI by coupling it with another form to reach different levels of power and speed. With Super Saiyan Blue 2, it has a weird ability where the user can move faster than, well, UI since it's coupled with Super Saiyan Blue. It's a bit weird but a very cool concept. GT Hyper can actually move faster than this while being heavily suppressed, but more on that later. In episode 2, Hyper Goku shows us that he can fight and beat the Super variant's blue form with what turns out to be phase 1 of Hikari, which is the simple 10 times amp Broly starts off with it in his movie. Which this version of Goku has 2 of the 3 phases similar to Broly, but we don't know what phase 3 is. Hyper also uses a flow state technique similar to Master Roshi, which when he uses it can dodge Blue 2's absurd speed. And it gets even crazier when we also learn Hyper GT can use his wishes for anything from weakening attacks and creating plushies. Pretty insane, right? Because when Hyper uses a Dragon Fist that was going to erase space-time and whatever, his wish to weaken the attack still engulfs the entire macrocosm in a bright light. Oh yeah, also check this out.
You can't even stand up straight and you want to surpass me? It would take you millions or even billions of years to reach my level. Do you understand that since the beginning of this fight, I've been holding back because this whole environment isn't suited to me and my power? I transformed myself only to give you the illusion I was going all out, so I could see your limits. Understand that if I were to use a fraction of my power, the Earth, the afterlife, the Kaioshin realm, space-time, the universe, the entire multiverse, and even more would be shredded. And neither of us want to see that.
Yeah, what the fuck, base GT Goku just slaps then. Okay. Hyper Goku is unaffected by a Hakai that nearly killed Zamasu and is possibly immune to complete erasure. It's even arguable that Hyper Goku's existence alone exceeds that of the entire multiverse. You guys remember how Pennywise used an avatar to fuck around and find out on Earth, since his real body was outside of the macroverse? Well, it seems this Goku is very similar. Primitive Goku can casually slam MUI Goku into the distant past of an alternate timeline. The speed of that isn't simply immeasurable, his feet might actually be further than that. This is where we find out Goku and Kakarot are 2 personalities within Hyper GT Goku. Kakarot being the primitive mind of Hikari and Super Saiyan 4, the one to intervene and nearly destroy the entire universe in episode 2, and Goku, the main one in control with almost every form, and the one with access to flow state. This may be an issue in mid-combat if both personalities conflict with each other, as even Super Goku was able to land hits, even though he's miles slower than them. With Super jumping into Blue 2, Asuka's speed, well, I'll just play the clip.
Famous earlier, speed not restricted by time. It's comparable to or even faster than mine. Goku took control and managed to dodge it at flow state. But I don't know that technique. Damn it!
And here's where UI is explained. Oh, fuck it, I'll just play the clip as well.
Did he deactivate Ultra Instinct to reach such speed? I know. The rules in this timeline are interesting. Ultra Instinct is just an angelic technique that allows the body to have instinctive and anonymous actions. Adding Divine Ki in its power would give a new silver hair transformation. Divine Ultra Instinct. The power of this transformation depends on the power of the Divine Ki given. However, his Divine Ultra Instinct was incomplete, and he coupled it with Blue too. This means that he has not mastered this transformation. It's a shame. If he managed to couple the complete Divine Ultra Instinct to his Blue too, it would have made for a spectacular fight that only Goku could have followed.
That's actually pretty impressive considering a speed surpassing time was comparable to Kakarot's. And here, my friends, is where I present to you with possibly the newest, strongest Draconic Saiyan yet. And yes, I'm making a reference to my own name. Goku reveals his base form being less suppressed would be more of a challenge than Kakarot was prior. He was even surpassing Blue 2's speed hyper casually and releases some dimensional god kind of shit where he powers up, his aura engulfs the entire multiverse and he can see through lower dimensions just from yeah, fuck it, I'll just show you the clip.
I see. Everything. Everyone. This timeline is surely peculiar. All these dimensions. All these worlds.
With base Goku being less suppressed, not only transcending all previous powers, which you can argue scales beyond Zeno and whatever, like the Grand Priest and whatever, but his aura can casually warp and twist reality by existing. Hyper Goku can literally kick a rock so hard it goes through the super variant's head and is repaired instantly by Hyper's healing. And then we got some more stuff, so... Sorry Kaaydo, I'm kinda stealing your footage, but I'm gonna have to roll the clip again.
All the dimensions of Son Goku's timeline are duplicated and compacted in singularity. Similarly to another phenomenon, a technique with infinite density, a technique that could purge anything and anyone who aren't at Son Goku's level. One of his greatest techniques.
Coincidence. 6th.
Yeah, I don't know at this point. He can hold Goku in place to blast him with an explosion of energy. Goku can just casually move faster and dominate a guy who can move faster and beyond linear time. As MUI Goku puts it, there's an infinite gap between them, even with Hyper still suppressing himself. Even Hyper's future cannot be seen simply because he exists beyond time and space, and is stated far greater than Beerus in this timeline, forming wormholes into other dimensions, warping around Otherworld and the dead, easily proving both at their lower speeds being infinite, with MUI Goku nearly destroying the whole macrocosm, but with a click of his fingers, Hyper seems to casually nullify the attack.
Simple. You were going to destroy your universe, so I protected it. And nullified your attack.
Even with a smidgen of his true power, Hyper destroys the timeline even when trying to protect it the same way he did with MUI Goku's attack and nearly affected the entire timeverse. From what we see, it's a place that contains the timeline's inner realm, and can casually revive the timeline with Shenron's wish. Okay, let's run this last clip.
The world compass of conceptual space cannot endure Goku's current presence. The overflowing density of draconic energy makes the timeline crumble and the lower world quiver. Nobody will have foreseen.
Dragon style? Surge!
The arrival of the Draconic Warrior.
Everything is gone now. This timeline is no more.
What more can I really say at this point? Oh yeah, from what was seen here, Super Goku doesn't remember anything from this episode, and his last memory was actually at the end of episode 2 with the Dragon Fist, which is why we don't see any events in Ep 2.5 in between the fight and the end of episode 2. And Shenron can bring Goku from different planes of existence, which is some dimensional warping essentially. The Dragon Ball Wiki has some information we can use to further understand the events that transpired, But the main things we need to cover from this is the explanation of Draconic Ki and the 3 main techniques seen. Draconic Ki, an abstract spiritual power unbounded by time and space and limited to its user's imagination. It generates a goldish aura. To summarize, Draconic Ki is stronger than any other power source. Bad control of Draconic Ki can destroy a timeline. Draconic Ki being used in the lower planes might just destroy reality by existing. This energy can warp and manipulate the elements, and Draconic energy can bypass durability of non-Draconic Ki users simply because it's beyond the laws of reality. Hyper Goku can also nullify attacks, create universal rifts. High enough mastery grants hyperdimensional vision, and can grant unlimited wishes except for instant death and destruction, which, regardless, is still pretty fucking OP. The Ryuken, also known as the Dragon Fist. It's a badass technique that is mostly an amped punch. However, with a high level of power, the more Draconic Ki, the more problems it could cause. You know, like destroying the entire universe. Quintessence is an absurd power and manipulation over spatial dimensions, duplicating and compressing dimensions into a dense singularity for a large attack based on dimensions selected. In basic terms, Goku can use a certain amount of dimensions compressed to fire it as a ki blast, and can destroy everything it hits not durable enough to survive. The greater the dimensions, the more enhanced the power. From what we see in episode 2.5, the least Goku can do is Quintessence 6, which means a compression of a 6th dimensional space into an attack. Yeah, and since the 5th and 6th dimensions should be beyond the timeline in the Dragon Ball canon, and a timeline in Dragon Ball can be scaled much higher than this depending on your interpretations, the attack being 60 in verse may be higher in cross-verse, and it's also possible Goku can go higher than this. The Dragon Style Surge is yet another powerful technique formed with Draconic Ki into a single point of space to release into attack of strict unbounded conceptual energy. Even with an advanced Goku with over 100 years of training, and he cannot control this technique to an absurd level of mastery needed to not accidentally destroy the entire timeline and possibly the Angels and Zeno as well. So, how powerful is Hyper Goku? Well, the obvious thing is, we don't know. Everything shown was all weaker than base Goku's full strength. That includes dunking on Super Goku, base slapping MUI Goku, casually traveling through timelines and to alternate timelines, existing beyond concepts of time and space, casually stated beyond gods, possibly destroying Angels and Zeno, harnessing higher dimensions into attacks and flat out destroying timelines with the superior Thanos flick, and that's nothing to his base form. To compare this to crossverse stats, enough of these statements and just the nature of Draconic Ki alone would grant a higher dimensional scaling over canon Dragon Ball, either anime or manga, to reach beyond infinite dimensions and linear time and space, conceptual, spiritual, everything. Essentially, these feats are at least reaching the outerversal and beyond everything dimensional in AP tiers, in having insane speeds of immeasurable to irrelevant. If anything, it seems this Goku can probably lean more into the Xenoverse tiers of scaling than normal Super and GT. And just remember, this shit is actually consistent. Well, here's where we finish up. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you want to watch the original series and give the creator some love, Kaaydo's channel is in the description. And if you don't mind, subscribe and like the video. I would really appreciate it, my friends. Oh, also, I got a membership out with not much stuff there. However, this video here that you're watching came out a couple of days before its release. On members. It was on members. So if you want to show that Hyper Goku's speed and moving forward in time, you know, beyond time, check it out on Members. Also, what do you guys want me to cover in the future? I already have some topics in mind, but more ideas would be great. Anyways, see ya.